Hey everyone, how's everyone doing here today? Thank you for watching, and today I wanted to talk about a comment a friend left for a recent post I did, where I was pretty much poking fun at the whole cult-like belief thing with MAGA, or MAGA extremism amongst the supporters. But the one thing I wanted to make clear, because here's what he said that, really struck a chord with me, and that is that these people need to be treated with compassion, which I couldn't agree with him more. And when I put out that video, I wasn't necessarily trying to put them down, but I was pointing out the serious flaw in this whole cult-like following, this whole belief system. And, that's where I think the problem lies. When I'm actually opposed to MAGA extremism, it's with, mainly the cult leader himself, Donald Trump, but also all the sycophants in Congress that help push this thing, which they're not doing it for any greater good of the American people. They're simply doing it because they need to serve Trump. Like your Marjorie Taylor Greens, your Matt Gaetzes, the Jim Jordans, the Lauren Boeberts, the really stupid politicians that aren't doing anything for America. Let's be real, they're not. Now, I put out a video not too long ago where it was people that went out and actually went to some of these rallies and actually interviewed them and tried to get some feedback, not based on who they support, that's pretty obvious, but what are some of the issues that concern them. And believe it or not, some of them actually did have some reasonable concerns. Mostly it was they didn't like the corruption that was going on with politicians and the wealthy donors and big corporations, which you can't help but notice the irony. But I'm not saying that put them in like a gotcha moment, but the bottom line is some of these people need help. Now, to give you an example, when Donald Trump won in 2016, this may sound like I'm being a hypocrite, but I'm not. I actually wanted him to succeed, but be clear. When I say succeed, I meant for the American people, not for him, not for his stupid ego or, whatever power trip he wants to do. Because you can point out some achievements, let's be clear about that, but it's the failures that outweighed that, like the tax cuts for the wealthy, like the failed COVID response, like January 6th, like the whole voter thing. I really believe that, if Trump spent a lot less time going on these stupid rallies, even though he already won the election, because let's face it, that's not for the people, that's just so he can get his ego stroked, or would do a lot less golf, which he said he was going to do and didn't, clearly lying, I think he could have done a lot more. And in addition to that, listen to people, namely the consultants, the people trying to advise him on what are the best decisions to make. But of course he didn't do that because he's an egotistical moron. So on that note, yeah, I wanted him to succeed. And by doing so, he's doing it for the American people. So when I criticize MAGA, I'm against the politicians, not the voters. I may not agree with them. I certainly have discontent for the violent ones, the ones that actually break the law. Not just January 6th, but, other crimes in between. Or the ones that start violence and protests. Because that doesn't solve any problems. I get that they have issues. And like I said, I try and be respectful of their beliefs. But in the end, the greater goal is, I encourage people to vote for change. I encourage people to vote out the bad candidates and get in the good ones. Who you may see as good or bad may vary, but a lot of us have the same common goals. Like, I don't waste my time on cultural issues, like the whole anti-woke thing. That to me is just ridiculousness that is designed to distract. I am one who wants to see the minimum wage get increased. I am the one that wants to see healthcare get expanded. I do want to see voter rights expanded. I do want to see, poverty being taken care of. Homeless people being taken care of. Not just in blue states, not just in the state that I live in or the community I live in, but all across America, up to and especially including the red states. Because that's the change I'm pushing for. So when I throw stones at MAGA, yeah, I kind of frown on the whole cult-like belief system. Because it doesn't really add up, because there are some people in that group that do have problems that need solving, and they need to be treated with compassion. And I think sometimes putting out videos like this might actually get to them, and get them to stop and think more. Not saying that they don't think at all. I'm not trying to, put them all collectively into one group thinking like, oh, it's absolutely hopeless. There are some people in this cult-like following, for a lack of a better word, I don't like to use the word cult, but that's what it feels like, where at one rally, a reporter asked them in the line, they were all waiting in line to see Trump, and said, what are some of the issues that bother you? He was asking a legitimate question, and nobody could answer it. I mean, literally, they just stared at him at a deer in headlights. I'm not saying it to put him down. I'm just saying that is what they were. And to me, that's an easy question to answer. You know, what are some of the issues may vary, like some of the ones I gave. I think most people, even on the red or even on the extremist right, might look at me and say, you know what? You're opposed to Trump, so I don't agree with that. However, I do believe in expanding healthcare. I do believe in the minimum wage. I do believe in fighting crime. I do believe in providing food for children who are either homeless or living in families where they're food insecure. They do believe in those solutions. And that is the whole objective, to get out and vote for change. And sadly, I can tell them straight out, you're not going to see that change with Donald Trump. Okay? You may not have much faith in Biden. I get it. But when you look at the track records, the bottom line is Joe Biden can deliver. Donald Trump cannot. Especially now with a lot of the things he's been saying, you know, what he intends to do in 2024, because he's more on a power trip and he's more on some revenge crusade where he wants to get even with everyone. Well, the presidency isn't about getting even and settling scores. It's about doing a job. And if he's not going to do that job, well then I say I stand opposed to him. I stand to all the MAGA extremists, the politicians. So that's the point I'm trying to make. So I do want to see, you know, people in the MAGA crowd getting taken care of, the ones that have problems. Because red states, they're not doing as well as blue states. And I'm not saying that in a way that the people in one is better than the other. It's just, you know, for a variety of reasons. Some of it from the president, some of it from the internal leadership, like the local senators or other councilmen or the governor there isn't doing the right thing. So like economically they're not doing so well, or they have higher mortality rates, or, you know, there's greater crime, there's more childhood poverty going on. The bottom line is we need solutions. So I'm encouraging people to go out and, you know, bring about change. We saw that in the previous elections. And with the local elections coming up and leading up until the presidential races in 2024, I still encourage people to get involved. But to say to my friend who's probably watching this video, yes, I agree, and that's the message I'm putting out. If you're someone who's opposed to Donald Trump, try not to be so hard on the MAGA crowd. Because even though some of them may be misguided, some of them do have issues that they need help on, and we should help vote for the change to bring that help about, okay? And like I said, some of them are just going to support Donald Trump till their dying breath, okay? There's nothing I can do about that. I can try and put the message out there, but, you know, if they're that entrenched in the cult, then there's nothing I can do. But it's the majority that are opposed to Trump or in favor of Joe Biden, wherever you fall in between. That's also the message I'm getting out to. And there are some that are voters that are undecided. Those are the ones I'm appealing to as well, to get more involved and, more importantly, get out and vote in 2024. Because there is a lot at stake there. You are essentially have to vote as if your life depends on it, because to a certain degree, it does. Whether you live in a red state or a blue state. So I know what I have to do. I'm going to continue doing that. And I hope others can follow that example. And that's not to say I have all the answers, but at least I know I'm on the right track. At least I know the difference between right and wrong. And Trump and this whole MAGA extremist thing is wrong. And it needs to change. So, anyway, thank you for watching. I really hope you understand.